is, it's not a slip. You are being violated. You are being violated, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Yep. Men are not dumb. They're brilliant. And one of the most brilliant tactics they've ever done is to convince us that they're dumb. All of the shit that they do that is super fucked up is intentional, and they know exactly what they're doing. And because we can just actually leave them now, and we're not all being held hostage like our grandmothers, they have to trick us into staying. So they do that by weaponized incompetence. Oh, oops, I don't know how to wash dishes. I don't know how to change the bed. Even though my dad literally admitted that he was pretending to not know how to make the bed, even though he was in the fucking Navy and knows how to make the bed better than anyone, had to bounce fucking order on it. But he admitted to me that he'd make it shitty so he wouldn't have to do it. But that video, go watch that video. It's really good, and it's a perfect example of in every area. It's not just housework. My dog's even getting upset. In every area of life, they are pretending to be stupid, and it's a manipulation tactic. They are the manipulative one. I'm not saying women don't manipulate. Of course we do. We're great at it because we had to. But men, they are malicious and manipulative.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be part 2 of the weaponized incompetence topic. If you've already seen part 1, thank you for watching and stay tuned for part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, it'll be linked in the description box. A few days ago, I posted a question in my community tab asking you guys about weaponized incompetence and if you've experienced it with any of your partners. 51% said yes, I didn't know there was a name for it. 34% said very much so, and I hate it. Wow. Okay, that's like 85% of the population. 85%. There was a small percentage of people that said, I don't think so, but maybe they were a great actor. So I'm going to say half of those people, it went undetected. Okay. So that's about 90% of people that have experienced weaponized incompetence. And what is that exactly? Pretty much weaponized incompetence is when somebody knowingly or unknowingly demonstrates an inability to perform or master certain tasks, which leads other people to have to pick up the slack for them and do it instead. So, that's kind of how a lot of women end up cooking for their men, and it's not a 50-50 thing because men are just like, oh, I burned the food. It's not good. It's terrible. You should do it for me. You're better. That type of thing. Let's go ahead and get into this part 2.
Men are not shit. Let's watch this.
I know, but she's been in her crib since 3.
I didn't know that.
What? You didn't know where your daughter was at 3?
4:30 and she was taking a nap.
Oh, wow. Went to sleep at 4:30. Sweet. What a great mom.
So, this mother was home. When her very young child was taking a nap, she decided to go upstairs and take a nap as well. Her husband is home at this time. When she wakes up from her nap a few hours later, he informs her that she is still in her crib and that she has been in her crib since the mom went to sleep several hours earlier, even though he knew that she was awake and crying. When she asks, why didn't you check on the baby? You're her father. He says, oh, well, I thought our teenage daughter was going to do that. I didn't know I was supposed to do that. When the mom points out that that is not the daughter's responsibility, he goes into this rage talking about how, well, I was making dinner and I was doing this and doing that. To which she responds, I do all of those things every single day and I still check on the baby. To which he responds, this just feels like you have an agenda against me. Yeah, Ken, the agenda is you should be watching your children.
With a man, and I didn't want to fall into the trap of doing all of the housework and that sort of unpaid labor that women are often relegated to, whether it's intentional or not. So I thought, like, if men can weaponize incompetence and pretend they don't know how to clean or grocery shop, why can't I? So I just never did my laundry, like literally never. And guess what? I haven't done laundry in 2 years. Not one time. Somehow it just gets done. But like now my boyfriend's been gone on a business trip for 3 weeks and I don't know how to use our washer machine. So
I just found something on Reddit that is kind of groundbreaking and I needed to share it with you guys because it put words to something that I couldn't voice for a really long time. And I think we need to add it to our vocabulary like weaponized incompetence and king baby. I found it in this Reddit thread. My partner came home all outraged that his friend was crying as he had been dumped. Since I'm friends with the ex-girlfriend, I wasn't surprised and told him so. When he went to see his mate the next day, he was being supportive. I told him to ask a few questions to ascertain whether he really was caught off guard, as if it was unexpected to me. I'm confused why it would be unexpected to the man in the actual relationship. Partner came home and went, So I spoke to him and he said he knew she'd been unhappy, but he thought it was just a rough patch. So yeah, he did know. He wasn't caught off guard. He just thought it was a tolerable level of permanent unhappiness.
Okay, so much happening. I gotta talk about these clips. First lady with the red hair, she's spot on. That dad, that guy is sickening. His wife is pretty much a married single mother. And listening to the clips, she had this seed planted years ago because this isn't something that they're going through as new parents. The fact that he doesn't want to watch his own child. He said he thought his teenage daughter was going to do it. So that means he was behaving the same way with his teenage daughter. He's been doing this for years. So honestly, his wife, unfortunately, has created this monster. Wherever you start from, they're just going to grow in that. So he's grown in that for probably over a decade and a half. So that's her fault, unfortunately. The other clip where the lady's like, "Oh, I can do it too. I don't do anything. I don't touch anything." Game recognized game. And if you noticed, she never started that with her boyfriend. She probably had to get a new boyfriend and just never let it begin. Unfortunately, sometimes with people, you can't nip it in the bud. Well, if you don't nip it in the bud, you have to start over. It's like it's trash now. It's a weed. You have to throw it out and get a new one. And the proof of that concept is in the pudding. Like that last clip when she was explaining the guy that just got dumped. He knew that she was unhappy. They know that you don't like it. You're doing stuff they've convinced you to do because they don't want to do it. That's like purposely giving somebody food because it's old or giving you a shirt because it's dirty. They're giving you trash and they know that you're accepting it. So they're not confused. You have to start over. And that's what she did. She broke up with him and now she's probably going to take that lesson and learn from it and apply it in the next relationship.
Correct. One time I became what you could call accidentally a trad girlfriend of sorts. And it was a slippery slope, but men are not stupid. I would say about 90% of the time they are fully aware of what they're doing, and 100% of the time they are way more competent than they lead you to believe. Because be honest, anytime you finally let a man know how truly deeply he messed up and that you're really upset, or maybe even finally try cutting him off or leaving him on red for a while, then suddenly out of the blue he'll come back and start acting like a knight in shining armor, right? Doing all the things you've always begged him to start doing, but just for long enough that gets you like manipulated and hooked back on the line. Because men are more aware than we give them credit for. Which leads back to that if he wanted to, he would. He literally just isn't. And one time when I was about 19, I got into what you could call like a trad girlfriend situation before that was even a popular term. And you might ask me like, well, how did I get out? How did I finally see the light? And it was like the moment a switch flipped, like suddenly the floodgates opened and I saw everything clear as day and I kind of had a breakdown. But it didn't happen all at once. It was like a very slippery slope. I think I was about 19, 20, and he was 21, 22-ish. Because in that moment, I realized this whole relationship, all I've been doing is trying to make your life easier and work with you as a partner to accommodate you and your needs. And the whole time, you, sir, have been literally doing the exact opposite and making my life more difficult knowingly. And he's crying, freaking out, like, I didn't realize it was that big of a deal. Like, I had no idea. And I was like, yeah, that's the issue. You didn't even stop to think about how this affects me in my life at all. And two, no, you don't have no idea. You've known the whole time, clearly. You've been doing this all intentionally.
What a peaceful morning. Woo! It's time! I don't think there's anything that could ruin my day.
I've personally not experienced this, but I've heard so many women talking about it on TikTok. And honestly, for him to make this video and it be viral, that means it's relatable to a lot of people. And they know the importance of putting down the toilet seat. It's little things like that, inconveniences, they're fully aware of. That's why I showed this clip, because they're so aware of it that they've captured it. They've captured her expression, made a video, edited it. They think it's funny. They think it's funny to pretty much bully you low-key, because it's crazy that you sleep with your bully.
This probably doesn't need to be said, but I'm going to say it anyway. When a boyfriend retaliates against his girlfriend, when she decides like, hey, I'm providing all of this domestic labor, I'm providing all of this emotional labor that we never agreed I would provide, and I don't feel like I'm getting anything in exchange. And when she decides, I'm not gonna just cook tonight? And in fact, why am I cooking all the meals? This was never agreed upon. And the answer from the boyfriend is to literally go on hunger strike. That is a form of emotional abuse. And not only is it a form of emotional abuse, it's a form of backlash that is trying to enforce free labor, a system of entitlement to free labor, through the threat of abuse.
Maybe I am just a hater. That is a very real possibility. But I just do not find the mainstream millennial mom/wife content funny or relatable. The themes surrounding this type of content are always like, oh, my husband's incapable when it comes to the kids. Isn't that super funny? Or like, my husband's really annoyed with me. Isn't that so quirky? Or I just spent $300 at Target. My husband's gonna kill me. Haha. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. We should not be celebrating or making light of weaponized incompetence. Your husband should not need to call his mother every time he is parenting the children that he created.
Oh, thank God you're home. Kids, your mother's home. I'm headed out. I'm gonna go watch a game with the boys. Yeah, I know you just worked a 72-hour shift, but I was gonna go watch a game with the boys. But if you really need me, I guess I can stay. Okay, I'll stay. Yeah, of course it's fine. Go lay down, relax. You deserve it. You've earned it. But by the way, before you go, can the kids have beer? I forgot. Can they have beer? Thanks, babe. I tried my best. You know I did, but I guess I'm better at watching the game with the boys than watching these kids.
Topic is about weaponized incompetence, where somebody in a relationship is acting intentionally dumb so that they don't have to put forth the maximum amount of effort to make sure the household is taken care of. When I first got married, I dealt with weaponized incompetence too. And here are the things that I did to break out of that vicious cycle. The first thing I did was I stopped cooking and serving him food. I would cook for myself and I would have my own plate. Because what we're not going to do is if we're both working, I'm not going to be the only one coming home cooking and serving you a plate and you not cleaning it up. No. The second thing I did was I stopped cleaning. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It wasn't until after he started stepping over, tripping on stuff and getting disgusted that he realized, oh snap, I need to help out around here. And ever since I did those two things, I cook, he cleans the dishes. We both take care of the house and I have designated areas that are specifically mine to clean. I'm not playing that foolishness. Act dumb if you want to. I can act dumb too.
I had to add that last clip because I really appreciate how she was open about how she adjusted her husband's behavior, nipped it in the bud, and how they have lists and they have designated areas. You have to communicate that. People can't read your mind, and everybody has a different standard of cleanliness. Somebody brought that to me in the comments on part 1. Everybody has their different level of cleanliness. But some of these men are just not cleaning at all. So pick and choose your battles. Do what works for you. I hope it makes sense. If you're upset and angry, good. I hope it strike the nerve because this is something that has been either going above our heads or under our heads because they're really good at manipulation. And I just want y'all to be aware of it. If you tell that man you're not cooking and he don't eat, he gonna lose weight. And that's okay. I'll see you in the next video. Like, comment, share, and let me know what you think down in the comments. I read all the comments. I love that we have this community where we can all share our experiences. We're all in different phases of life, different parts of the world, different races, and I love to read all about it.